I'm so sorry. So sorry. Part 3, here we go. So now what you do is you have x minus 4 squared equals 32. Take the square root of both sides. So now you're at x minus 4 equals plus or minus the square root of 32. Now you have to simplify that guy. What is the largest perfect square root that divides into 32? And yes, you were right. It's 16. 16 divides into 32 twice. So now you have x minus 4 equals plus or minus 4 square root 2. And I know that 4 can be simplified again, but you simplify radicals once. Now you add 4 to both sides. So your final answer is 4 plus or minus 4 square root 2. That's it. No simplification, no triangle trick. It's done. All right. Let's try another one here. It's equal to 0. So why don't we just start by putting parentheses around the x values. Then we can take this b value, divide it by 2 and square it. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So now I have x squared plus 6x plus 9 in parentheses plus 3 on the outside minus 9 on the outside. So let's clean this up. 3 minus 9 is negative 6. And now you have to say to yourself, what is going to multiply to 9 and add to 6? And it's the same number. Multiplies to 9 and adds to 6. 3 and 3. Good, good. So now because there's 2 of them that are the same, you have x plus 3 squared equals 6. I'm sorry, minus 6 equals 0. Add 6 to both sides. You get x plus 3 squared equals 6. Take the square root of both sides. X plus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 6. I like this problem because this is a prime root. Cannot be simplified any further. Minus 3 on both sides. Your answer is x equals negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 6. Okay. Let's do one more for good measure. Example 5 you'll do on your own. I also have it uploaded to the answer key, so either finish the lesson on your own or just copy it from the answer key. Let the homework be your independent practice. Do your best to use your notes and try those on your own. The last one we'll do together. The last completing the square. And guess what? This is the last lesson of the radicals unit. You've made it. We made it through one whole unit. One whole unit on distance learning. Nicely done by all. So after this, we have a new unit. So, you know, we're making progress. This is actually really good. All right, we can't start number 4 yet because it's not equal to 0. So you have to bring the 14 to the other side. Okay, put parentheses around the x terms. Take the b value, divide by 2, and square it. Negative 2 squared is 4. So what you're doing with that is you're adding it to the parentheses, and you're subtracting it outside of the parentheses. So if you notice, negative 14 minus 4, clean that up, gives you negative 18. Then you have to factor this. Oh, why is that so small? Factor out the trinomial. What multiplies to 4 and adds to negative 4? It has to be the same number. Negative 2, negative 2. Everyone agree? Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4, and negative 2 plus negative 2 is negative 4. Okay, so since you have two of the same factors, you square it. Add 18 to both sides. You get x minus 2 squared equals 18. I'm running out of space again. Follow me up here. So now at this point, we have x minus 2 squared equals 18. Take the square root of both sides. That cancels out the square term. We have plus or minus the square root of 18. Why is it focusing? Okay, so then the 18 can be simplified. So you have x minus 2 equals plus or minus the largest perfect square root that divides into 18 is 9. 9 divides into 18 twice. So you get x minus 2 equals plus or minus 3 radical 2. Add 2 to both sides. Your final answer is x equals 2 plus or minus 3 radical 2. Have you noticed with simplifying by when you complete the square, there's no triangle trick? If you're thinking to yourself, what the heck is this one man talking about? In the quadratic formula, I always recommend drawing a triangle around the outside numbers, outside in front of the radical, because you always have to simplify last. If you guys would notice with completing the square, there's none of that. The problem literally simplifies itself out, and then you add or subtract to get the final answer. So for instance, I added 2, and that gave me the final answer. In example 3, I subtracted 3. Then that brought me to the final answer. So the final answers look exactly as they would for completing the square, as they would for quadratic formula, but the process getting there is different. So that's it. This is the end of the unit. I'm very impressed with all your work. Many, many, many of you are going above and beyond. Keep up the great work. Keep working hard. Any questions, message me, email me, let me know. Miss you all very much. Bye.